everybody, we're back with Bill Gates from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Progress takes time, and the social isolation is buying researchers time to find the answers that we need. What is your most hopeful time frame for how long we have to live the way we are now?
Well, there's two ways out. One is if we get miracle therapeutics that are greater than 95% cure rate. We can't count on that. And the other is a vaccine that's highly effective that we get out to the world population. Some of those vaccines, we'll understand by this summer. We'll see, because they're going into humans now, we'll see if they get this strong antibody response. And then we have to do broad safety testing and get the manufacturing going. So even a year from now, if everything went perfectly, because we're backing 10 of the leading constructs, we could start the manufacturing. And then again, this disease could be hard to make a vaccine, so it could be more like 2 years. So quite a range of possibilities there. But every day when I see the engagement of these vaccine groups, I actually think, wow, we can surprise people on the upside here. I've been saying 18 months, but some of these vaccines are ahead of that schedule.
I understand that your organization is actually supporting 7 different vaccine research efforts right now. Thank you for doing that for all of us. How many organizations total are trying to find this vaccine? Do you know?
Well, there's almost too many in a way. There's over 100 different vaccine efforts. There's over 100 different therapeutic efforts. And outside of the private sector, this ability to rank them in terms of their likeliness for safety and efficacy and scaling up, we're pitching into that because that's our daily job is about making new vaccines. And so I think it'll be, 7 to 10 will look so promising that we should get them the funding to not only do the research, but also build the factory. Now, of those 10, we'll only need 1 or 2. So we will say, okay, some of them weren't important, but, saving a month or 2 months or 3 months is so worthwhile that this money's almost a rounding error in terms of the overall economic pain that's being created here.
Well, Bill, since you tried to warn us about this pandemic and we didn't listen, what's the next thing you're warning us about that's going to happen 5 years from now that we're not listening to at the present?
Well, I didn't want to be right. What I wanted to do is
I understand. I'm not saying you won. Everybody loses. Nobody wins with this. And I'm not saying that you're this is not an end zone dance. I'm just saying, what else are we not listening to that we need to take action on now?
Well, the idea of a bioterrorist attack is kind of the nightmare scenario because they're a pathogen with a high death rate would be picked. Now, the good news is, I'm not trying to depress you, it's tough enough
Too late.
right now.
Too late.
Most of the work we're going to do to be ready for pandemic 2, I call this pandemic 1, most of the work we'll do to be ready for that are also the things we need to do to minimize the threat of bioterrorism.
Well, Mr. Gates, thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for the efforts you and your organization are doing to try to find the cure for this. And we'll see you again. Stay safe.
All right. Great time.
Give our best to everybody else in the bunker.
Thank you.
Bill Gates, everybody. We'll be right back with Homeland's Claire Danes and Mandy Patinkin.